Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me for our 12 days of Canva. And we are going to work through so many different elements of Canva in the next several weeks. In 3 weeks, we'll do 4 trainings a week. And you're going to be able to be a master of Canva by the time this is over. So if you are watching with me today, go ahead and say hi in the chat so that I know who's here. I know there's several of you because I see some of you popping in. So hi, Anne, good to see you. So the reason why I wanted to do this Canva tutorial is because so many of you just ask constantly how to navigate a lot of the different elements that Canva has. And honestly, Canva has just done this update in the last couple months, and it's been a little bit of a challenge to kind of re-navigate it and figure out where things are. So we're going to start. This may be super basic for some of you who have been in Canva quite a bit and you kind of know how to really navigate it yourself. So this first episode or 2, it's going to be the very basic, like how do you even get into Canva? And then we will move on towards some more challenging and ways that you can create and make your life so much easier, because Canva has a lot of new fun tools. They've incorporated a lot of AI. And so you're able to create things that perhaps you couldn't have done before. There are 2 different kinds of Canva accounts. There is a paid account, and then there is a free account. If you have a free account, there are limitations. And so some of the things that I show you throughout these trainings, you may not be able to do because it is a free account. And as I go through it, I'm going to navigate or tell you how to know what elements you can use and what you can't use. Oftentimes when there is an element that is in the paid account and you have a free account, you can actually purchase just the one element that you want or the font that you want. So we can work through that, and I'll show you how to tell like what you can do. It's kind of fun because after you create a design, typically, and you go to download it, if you have the paid account, it'll say you save $16 by having a paid account. And since the paid account is only, I think, $12 a month, it actually is very, very beneficial. So here we go. Hi, Debbie. Good to see you. So we're going to start with the very basics. I'm going to just share my screen, and this is what Canva looks like when you open it. You'll see your account up here. There we go. Now you can see my browser. Your account is up here. So if you are using more than one account, that's where you would navigate and toggle between those accounts. And today we're going to really talk through 2 things. Number 1 is size, and how to really create the size that you need for your specific graphic. And then number 2 is we're going to work on this little sidebar over here, and I'm going to give you what the top elements actually do. The bottom elements of the sidebar are ones that you import, and we'll talk about that on the day we talk about organization. So when we start and we open Canva for the first time, we need to have a canvas in order for us to create. And to do that, there are many different ways. You can see down here, there are these little icons, and you'll see I do Instagram post square all the time. And so that's why that one is there first for me. So they'll put kind of your favorites up front. But then as you go through, you'll see like doc. So that's basically like a Word doc. Create new. You'll see whiteboard, create new, presentation, create new. Here we go. Whoa. So social media. When you see social media, it says underneath see all. When you have those words, see all, it means it's going to give you some options when you actually click on it. So if I click the social media see all, we're going to see all of the popular social media posts and sizes. Then if you're just doing Instagram, you can always just click on Instagram and you can see the sizes that you need for that. So instead of having to figure out what size, you can just click on Instagram post square, Instagram story, Instagram ad. So whatever the sizes that you need, it's going to automatically format. The reason why you have like Instagram ad square versus Instagram post square is because when you go into, if you use a template, it's going to read this as an ad. So those are going to be the first things that actually show in your template tab once you open up one of these documents, one of these files. Then you have Facebook. So there's all the different Facebook ads you can use. We'll talk a little bit about this later on, but like, for example, one of the things you have to be careful of is the size that you need is different from a mobile device like your phone versus your desktop. And so, for example, Facebook cover, it's a different size on your desktop than it is on your phone. And so you have to kind of play around with the design and get to know it. So it will work on both. It just is a matter of placement of the different items that you have. And then there's LinkedIn. So these are the ones that we use the most, and that's why they're up there. Now, when we, gosh, I need to watch the wrong computer. So that's how those little dots work. So when you have a icon that just says create new, it's not going to give you a bunch of options when you open it. It's just simply going to open a document. And so you'll see the doc right there. All right. So that's the difference. So if it says, let me go back. If it says see all, it's going to give you a bunch of different items to choose from. And if it says create new, it's going to just automatically open up a presentation for me. So you can have video, you can have print, see all, you can have website, create new. Apparently Canva now has a website that you can do. Who knew? I have not tried to do that yet. And then you have my favorite tab, which is custom size, because often when I make something, I have to make it an exact size for whoever is requesting it. So maybe it's my web designer and they're asking for a specific graphic size, or it's a banner that I have to create and it's a certain size on the banner printing company that I use, or it's a ad for like the Christian Product Expo. And so I have to make it an exact size with the bleed. And so this when you select custom size, you can do anything you want. So when you click custom size, let me explain. The first thing that you want to do when you select custom size is decide what units you want to use. So with the units, they are PX, which stands for pixels. And then you have inches, and then you have your meters, so millimeters and centimeters. Oftentimes when I'm doing an ad of some sort that is going to be a print PDF, I will do inches. And then I can add, if it's an 8.5 by 11, and then I can add the bleed to it. And we'll talk about what that would look like as well if you ever have to add a bleed. And then PX is pixels. So pixels basically stands for the little tiny squares that your computer reads, and each number in your pixel. So like, for example, I guess they don't have one down there. If I go here, do you see how underneath the Instagram, it says 1080 by 1080? It's 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels. The more pixels you have, the bigger your image is, meaning that it has a better, higher resolution in order to do a good print quality. If you have fewer pixels, it means that it's going to be blurry if you try to blow the image up or, enlarge the image, zoom in. So if you're making something, you want to make sure that you think through the different, how you would determine the pixels. And typically that's done if you go just Google it and you say, I need a web banner for my website. What's a typical size? And it'll tell you pixels because the computer is reading pixels. All right, so there is the different things you can do. And I'm just going to go into right now, for just making it easy, I'm going to do an Instagram post. And so as I click on it, it's going to show me the square, and it's all ready for me to start designing. And when we start designing, there are a couple different ways you can do it. You can do it by at the top, so over here, The top has design, and this is where the templates are. So you can type anything you want to in the templates. So it's Christmas time. So we type in Christmas, and it's going to start showing me different templates that are going to fit that exact size document that I have. So the beauty of picking your template once you have your graphic size, your canvas size, is that it's going to fit it perfectly. So I could just click on it and it will then populate my canvas. Now, why didn't I do that? I'm going to go back this way. Okay, we're going to do a whole entire training on just templates, so I'm not going to go into that today. Where I really want to focus for us today is in the Elements tab, because there are some really cool things that can happen when you are in the Elements tab. It has a search engine, so of course you can type in whatever it is you're looking for. Typically, when you first open the Element tab, it will have things that you've searched for just recently. And so that's what those images are for me. So even in the graphics, like before I got on here, I searched the word orange. And so it's showing me some orange graphics. So whatever you've just looked for, it's going to show you. In your Elements tab, you have recently used, and recently used are all of the graphics or pictures or videos that you have used, actually ever in Canva. I don't know how long they store it, but I scroll down forever sometimes if I have to find something that I can't find that I really need to use again, and they have all of the elements there for me. So that is recently used. Then shapes, and shapes are really cool because you can import them into your canvas. You can change the color. You can give it a border. You can round the edges. You can actually type right in it and have your text there. Now, the challenge with you when you type your text into the actual graphic is your text will not shift sizes with your graphics. So for example, if I want a smaller box, it gets to the point where it will no longer allow me to, it won't, if I am selecting a whole bunch of graphics together, it won't allow me to move. So sometimes it's better to just layer your text on top of it. Then you have your border, and then you can select your border weight. And you can also select your border color. And the border color is this round circle here. And so you can change the color if you want. And then you can also round the corners, which is kind of fun. So those are the things you can do with this shape. And we'll talk about this more tomorrow, actually, when we do this bar up here. Okay, then you have the shapes. You have graphics, which are typically more like drawn elements versus having photos, which are more like photo images. Then you have videos, you have audio, and it's great because you can add audio right to videos that you create, whatever you need. There are tons and tons of audio, and you can upload your own audio as well. There's charts, there's polls and quizzes, there's tables, there's frames, grids, mock-ups. And mock-ups are really fun because they're actually where you can put an element. So you have like this guy with a t-shirt on, and you can actually go ahead and import. Let me get my uploads here. You can go ahead and put like a book cover on it. Sorry, it's slow because it's going through StreamYard. Oh, there you go. So see, now he has a book cover of Shep and the King of Hearts. Now, some of the things I wanted to show you with elements are how to really navigate the ones that you really like the style of. So if you are looking for, let's say, Christmas graphics, since it's Christmas time, and you want some graphics to make a flyer. So you're going to choose, let's say, this little holly guy, And I really like this style of image. Now there's two ways to find more images that are this exact style. The first one is to just go to Magic Recommends and see all. And typically you're going to find other graphics that are either similar, or sometimes it's like more holly. So they have a lot of different holly options, border options in here. And that is from clicking on Magic Recommends. Now, oftentimes I find a graphic that I like, and I really like the way that, so I love the watercolor of this. I love what the designer did. So if you click on these three dots, you can actually view more, it says, by creative valuation. And so what this is going to do is it's going to show me the products or the graphics that this particular designer has made. And so when I click on it, I can go to see all, and you'll see that there are a lot of different watercolor type graphics. So this designer has all different kinds. It's not just Christmas, but I love this type of background. And then once you click on that, then you'll be able to get even more. So, okay, I have a farm image. So now it's going to give me a bunch of farm images with that watercolor look. So it's a really quick way to add graphics to your design without having having like similar look to it, instead of having to continue to scroll all the time. That's become one of my favorite features. This particular graphic designer has photos. She has videos. She has, nope, it'll tell you none. So just photos and graphics. So that's really good. So that is how you find graphics that are similar to create your designs. Okay, let's go back. Now, let's say, for example, I wanted to find some orange backgrounds. So I'm going to type in the word orange, O-R-A-N-G-E, and it's going to show me, I'm going to do some photos. And do you see how it has like a bunch of backgrounds, but it also has oranges? So I really want to see more backgrounds. I don't really want pictures of oranges. So if I click on one of the orange backgrounds and then I go to Magic Recommends, I'm going to have a lot more orange backgrounds, or backgrounds that are similar, to choose from, versus having to scroll through oranges, which I wasn't looking for. So that's another reason why you can use those Magic Recommends or the little three dots and be able to find the images that you need. All right, in element, go back, get rid of that. All right, so within the elements as well, you have a generate your own. This is a brand, well, this part isn't necessarily brand new, but the brand new part is they're now partnered with Leonardo, which is a huge AI system that has amazing graphics. And so now Canva has partnered with them. So the graphic that they're generating are actually so much better. And we will walk through some AI tools in the next few sessions. When you click generate your own, you can actually go in to Magic Media and you can say, whatever it is you want. So a Christmas tree with a cat next to it and a fireplace in the ground. The more specific you can get, the better your images will show up. It's still not great, and we will talk through these elements as well in a little while, like as we move on, as we really work through the AI portion of it. But this will then give you it'll give you 4 images to choose from. So then you can go down and you can say see all, and you can either pick what kind of image you want. So let's say I want a photo, and then I want it to generate the image. So now, as I go in, it's going to work to generate this image for me. Whoops, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. It went away. Oh, there it is. Okay. So there is a cat in a fireplace. You have to be very specific. There is a cat by the fireplace by the tree, and that's probably the most accurate one. That one kind of looks like a giant cat. And so what I can do is if I like this enough, I go in and I can say generate more like this, and it's going to continue to kind of look at this image that I have and create more. So let's give it a second. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. There we go. And then you can say, okay, I really like this one. And so now I can use that one as my image. So if you're looking for something very specific, it's a great way to find exactly what you need. Now, one of the things you have to be careful of when you are using their AI is if you have the paid Canva account, it's down here, it's telling me use one of 498 credits. So I have used one of my credits for this month, and I can only do 500 images. Now, when I recreate more like this, it doesn't count against my credit number. It only does after I have done it. So anyways, so here are the images, and you can do it with videos. You can do all kinds of things, and I will show you more of that again when we get into the AI, but I just wanted you to know that that option is there for in the elements. All right. So elements is a place for you to generate all of your different images that you need for your graphic. Then we have text. So text where a cat. Text is where you can obviously add text to your image. So if you wanted to add some text, you can just go in, and there's going to be these boxes if you have a brand kit, which is something we'll talk about. And so within the brand kit, I have a heading. So I can just add my heading, and then I can start typing in whatever it is I want. And it's going to be in that particular font. And then I have my subheading. And then the subheading will be, again, the text I choose. And then we have the body text. Now, I actually don't like this body text. I think it's too small, and it's too scripty. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to edit my brand kit. And so if you have these boxes, and they're the ones that you choose to actually do your text, get your text box, you can go to edit. And when you go to edit, you look at the fonts. And so down here where it says body, I'm going to click on the little pencil because I'm going to edit that text. And instead of using this font, I am going to choose, let's choose Allura. I like that one a little bit better. I can even choose what size it is to make it a little bit bigger. And then when I click save, it is going to have that font now over here. So now my font is Allura. And then I can obviously make it bigger if I would like as well. So that's how you kind of take the fonts that you like the best, or the fonts that are part of your brand, and place them in the font tab, the text tab, so that it's really easy for you to add. You can also just go in and say add a text box, and it's going to do that as well, typically with your heading text. There you go. So it's this text that I have up here. They now have something where you can add page numbers. If you're going to use a document, that's a great feature to have. You can simply just say add page numbers. You can do numbers only. You can tell the exact pages that you want your page numbers on. And then if you decide that you don't want page numbers, you can just say remove all page numbers, and it disappears. So you can play with it and then take it off, and it won't really hinder you. The other thing that's really fun in the text tab is the different samples that they give you. So when you go in, oftentimes we want to match up fonts in order to create our graphic and put fonts that go together. So when you come to the text tab, you can go in, and let's say you want to use this particular sample. And then you can actually go in and just say whatever it is that you want it to say. and you can, when they put it in, it's going to be grouped. So you can say ungroup, and then you can move it around to however you want, but you still have the same, fonts. Obviously, you can change the colors. You can even change the actual font. You can make it bold. You can make it italics, however you want to do it. So that is another great feature, because it's going to give you all these different suggestions. And sometimes that's one of the hardest things, is to decide like, what font should I use for a particular graphic that I'm making. And so this is a great place to find them. It also sometimes allows us to think outside the box and be able to pick things that we typically would not choose. So there is just tons and tons of them that you can choose from. All right, so that is text. And again, I'm going to talk about this box tomorrow. So we will, or the next day, or Wednesday, and show you how to use all of those features. You have your brand tab over here. A brand is just a great way to be able to take all of the different things that you're creating and create templates for yourself to use. So you can go here and see all the different brand kits that I have in our Canva. So we have the Redemption Press brand kit, we have the She Writes for Him, and we have a podcast brand kit. You can create one for your website. You can create one for a book that you're creating. You'll pick book colors. And again, we will walk through all the different ways to select and use a brand kit. You have uploads. And for uploads, all you do is simply find an image that you want, and you can just drag it into your uploads, and then you are able to utilize your images that you are uploading into your computer. So for example, and I know you can't really see this, but I have a folder open. I simply just drag it in, and so you see the little button turns green. That means I'm going to upload this image. I let go of my mouse, and it now is uploading the image for me to use, and it is. So it's a graphic that I actually made in Canva. So I can just click on it, and then I'm able to use that image. Anytime you click and add an image to your graphic, it's going to put it behind any verbiage that you have. So if you need it up front, you'll have to position that. All right, in your graphics tab, you have a few things that you are able to do. If you do images, they're obviously under images. Videos are under the videos, and then audio would be in the audio. You can upload things that you record. You can upload music as long as you have permission to use it. And typically when you upload into audio files, it's going to ask you if you actually do have permission. And then in the images, you can go in and you can actually clean it out, which is something that I try to do often. And so these are all images from different graphics that I have made. And so I go in and I click when I'm done using the graphic, and I just move to trash. Because the one thing with Canva is it can be super overcrowded with all of the things. And we want to make sure we keep it cleaned out so that things that are there are actually what we need to use. And so that is the uploads. We are going to work through all of the organizational ways to make sure that your Canva makes sense and works best for you. And so we'll talk about how you can really organize those graphics the next time. There's a new element that we have here, and it's the draw element of all this. And the draw element really works best if you have an iPad or some kind of tablet with like a pen. Because it's really hard, I think, to do the drawings or write with with your mouse. But all you do is you click on this particular item that you want to use. So there's the ink pen, a thicker pen, a highlighter, an eraser, and then you can take and choose the color that you want. And then you can click on this line. So let's say I'll do this color. Then you can click on the settings, and the settings is going to let you choose how big of a line, the thickness of your line. And so if you pull the weight line over, you're going to see right here, this little dot is showing me how thick it is. So if I now go over to my screen, I'm going to write and it's going to be really thick. Where if I go to my settings and I do the weight thin, it will obviously be very thin. Then if I want to erase, I click on erase. I go over and I just simply click on it, and the very last stroke erases. So it's not just a little piece that erases, it's the whole stroke. Unless you hold it down. Whoops, nope, didn't work that way. And then it just erases when you click on it. All right, so those are the different drawing tools. Other element you have are projects. This is going to show you all of the designs that you have within your folder. So if you want to switch to a new design, you can just simply go to see all, and then you can click on the design that you want to work on. And then you can embed that right into, I'm going to do that one, and you can put it right into your new document. So you don't have to anymore go out of Canva, find the document or find the design you want, and then go back and cut and paste it. It's all done right here in the file that you're working on, which is super, super handy. So then I can go back and then I can say, okay, I want to put this particular design. Let's see, this one. I'm going to do this design. I want this on my, gosh dang it, on my canvas. And so I click it and there we go. So now I can go ahead and I can edit this, and it's not going to edit the file that I originally made it in. I love this feature. It's brand new and it is fantastic to use. And then finally, above the fold, so this little line here, is your apps tab. And in your apps tab, there are so many different things you can do. I honestly don't even know all of them, but I do like a few of them and we'll be showing them to you. My favorite is the QR code. If you need a QR code for something, you just come into Canva, go into your apps, click QR code. You can enter the URL, redemptionpressuniversity.com. It is going to generate a code for you. And there you go. And then you can put it on any of your collateral items that you have. If you have a sign up that you want people to do, if you have a website you want them to go to, whatever it is you need to draw them to that is web-based, you can use this, this QR code maker. And then when you go to elements, no, not elements, uploads, you're going to see, normally the QR code is right there. I don't know, maybe it will show up later. Normally the QR code shows up there and then you can label it what it is so you can go back and use it if you want to. That was weird. Maybe it's a new thing that they don't do that anymore, but it used to. So in apps, there are so many different things that you can do with the different apps. And one of the ways that I learn, honestly, what to do with the different apps is I Google it, because that's the best way to learn. There is one thing I want to show you today, and it's in Elements as well as in the text, and it is how do you know what items you can use if you have a free account? And that is if you go to See All, you will see that there are little crowns on the graphics. Those graphics are only for pro users. So if you have a paid account, if you don't have a paid account and you want to use this graphic, you can purchase it. And so you can do that by, I believe, going to the three dots or perhaps it's clicking on pro. I've never not had an account, so I don't really know exactly what that looks like, but there is a way to purchase it if you click on the item and you want to use it. You click on the item and it is not available in the free version, it will have Canva watermarks on it. So that's how you can tell the difference. And the same thing is true in your text. When you go to your text box, you will see the free ones. And then here, like Adult Notepad has the little crown by it. So that means it's only for pro users. So That is how you, number one, get an image the size that you want it, and number two, the different things that are available in your sidebar. When you are in your when you're in your graphic, and let's say you do want to go back home to create another graphic, you can either click the back arrow or you can go to open menu and just click on Canva, and it will take you right back to your home page so you can start again. And the graphic that you chose should, let's see, maybe should be the first one. The graphic you were just working on should be the first one that is in the Canva library. All right, so I know probably most of you here today know how to do all of those things, but I hope you learned at least one thing new. I know when I was going through, trying to figure out how we were going to divide up what we were going to teach, there are a few new things that I actually learned as I was walking through it. So hopefully that will help you. And then on Wednesday, we are going to do day 2. And I honestly don't, let me look and see what it is. Let's see. Wednesday is organizing Canva. Organizing Canva is so important because once you use it, it continues to grow, and it is so hard to find what you are looking for. So it's really important to have those keywords. And then I'm going to show you how to navigate that toolbar that is found right at the very top, which is right here. And then when you click on items within your graphic, you will see this toolbar, and there are so many cool things that you can do to make your graphics pop. So organization and toolbar session 2 is going to happen on day 2 of Canva. So thanks so much for joining me. Tell your friends so they'll come and be a part of our Canva training, and I will see you all on Wednesday.